What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Clay back here with another video, and in today's video we're going to get into a great pickup that LSU just got out of North Dakota State University and Jabril Cox. And before we get into today's video, make sure you go down, like and subscribe, and just let me know what I can do on the channel to improve the content that we're putting out. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what is being put out. But without further ado, let's just get into it. Jabril Cox, 4-year player out of North Dakota State University, redshirted his first year, but his next 3 years after that was very, very productive. This kid was, all 3 years, he was all-conference, and then these last 2 years, he was an All-American at the linebacker position. I mean, you go back and look at his film, this kid was the best player on the field in probably every single game that he played his last 2 years at North Dakota State. This kid was being recruited very, very highly from a lot of big-name schools. Ohio State, Clemson, Penn State, Alabama. I mean, a lot of these top-tier defenses that are putting linebackers in the NFL at a high level were recruiting this kid. And without even getting an in-face visit from Jabril Cox, he committed to LSU, which speaks very highly about Coach Ed Orgeron and what we're able to do in a recruiting system here. This kid, he goes back with Bo Pelini. They kind of have a relationship, so a huge pickup on the defense side with Bo Pelini just being our new defensive coordinator and actually getting this guy to commit without even having an in-phase visit. I was watching a video with Coach Ed Orgeron who was he was talking about how he feels like the recruiting is easier now that everything is over the phone because these kids are actually making time for you to talk to them. They're bored. They don't have a lot to do. So now that everything has moved to virtual, I think Coach Ed Orgeron, he's going to have a lot of good pickups. We got some good guys coming in. I'm pretty excited about our upcoming recruiting class. And hopefully Coach Ed Orgeron can just continue to get guys to come in. Let's talk about some of the other guys that we have filling in at the linebacker position because we were pretty thin at this position before we had Jabril Cox come in. So he kind of shored up his position and really solidified our linebacking core. Let's start off with Marcel Brooks, who's a great kid, good athleticism, good skill. And when he was in high school, if you guys haven't got a chance to go check out his film, make sure you go do that because this kid was a monster on both sides of the ball. He's playing receiver. He was playing the linebacker position in high school. And if you guys haven't got a chance to check him out. He's a 5-star recruit. Didn't really get to play much last year except for a third and long situation where we needed to rush the passer. But he's still effective in the times that he got to come in for LSU as a freshman. So I'm really excited about this kid. Reminds me a lot of Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson this year, who's just going into the draft this year. Just their body build, their athleticism, their ability to rush the quarterback and make plays on the defensive side of the ball. 205 right now, 6'2", 4.4 speed. The 205 kind of worries me since we're going to be moving to a 4-3 and he's going to be playing like a strong side linebacker position. So we're going to have to put not a lot more weight, but we're going to have to put 20 to 30 pounds of muscle on him. But great build, so I'm pretty excited about this kid. Another guy I want to talk about is Damone Clark. 55 tackles last year, didn't even start a game last year. He was just playing in certain downs, so 55 tackles, pretty good for a kid that wasn't even playing every down and even starting a game. Devin White was talking very highly of this kid when he was at LSU, saying that Damone Clark was always in his back pocket, asking questions, asking what he could do to improve his game and be the next great linebacker that's coming out of LSU. So I'm really excited about him. Jabril Cox is probably going to be the starting linebacker on the weak side. We already talked about him. One of the things about Jabril Cox, he could do pretty much everything, except sometimes when you leave him one-on-one with a slot receiver or the running back, it's kind of iffy. His one-on-one game and coverage game is pretty questionable at times. So like I said, he'll most likely be playing the weak side position with Marcel Brooks, who is a little bit more athletic, playing on the strong side, just to cover up for some of his weaknesses. That would be the one thing that I have to say about Jabril Cox that is on the downside. Everything else is just positive. I mean, great work ethic, very humble. So I'm really excited about what LSU has going on this year and what we could do in the upcoming years. I think our defense is still going to be like top 10, what LSU is used to seeing out of our defense. So I'm really excited about that. One of the things I want to talk about was Devontae Lee moving from the wide receiver position to the linebacker position just to help us with our depth at that position. The last time that we moved somebody from the offensive side to the defensive side at the linebacker position was Devin White, and everybody saw how that ended up with Devin White. Ended up winning the Nick Buckus Award and going on to be a great NFL linebacker. So hopefully Devontae Lee can bring the same thing and just be a great defensive asset that we can have and great depth that we can have at the linebacker position. One of the things that I want to talk about with LSU's defense is the quarterback positions, Elias Ricks and Derek Stingley. I think if Elias Ricks lives up to what he can be, LSU is going to have some lockup defenders that are at the cornerback position. We all saw what Derek Stingley can do, and he was in the running to wear the number 7 jersey for LSU this year as a sophomore. We all know that Jamar Chase eventually got chosen to wear the number 7, but just to be in the conversation as a sophomore to wear that number speaks highly of Derek Stingley. So hopefully Elias Ricks can come behind Derek Stingley and learn, and we could just have we'll have 2 lockup defenders that are at the corner positions that are going to be playing together in the years to come. We're going to have Mo Hampton, who I think will probably start at the safety position. So I'm just excited about what LSU's defense is going to look like. I think that we're not really going to have a huge step back. And a lot of people keep telling me that I'm speaking too highly of LSU. You know, maybe I am. I'm a huge fan, so maybe there's a little bit bias right there. But just watching like the film that we have and seeing the film study on some of these guys that we have coming in, I mean, there's no reason to not be excited. LSU, we've been recruiting at a high level for a while now that Coach O has taken over. So I don't see a huge step back in our talent level. The experience level, though, is pretty low. But like I said, that all that comes with, we'll see mid-season where our skill level's at and if it's really going to hinder us. I don't really see it bothering us too much. Realistically, I think I see LSU winning. If they don't go back to the national championship, I don't see any reason why LSU wouldn't be a 10-win season again this year and compete, if not in the playoffs, in a New Year's Six bowl game.